Welcome back to CNB Bazaar Buzz. A nice little surprise for you. A first look at the Tata Zika. And many of you had asked me questions about the Zika in particular. So today, those are the questions I'm taking on this section. The first question I'm taking is from Rahul, who's asked something that I think many of us were thinking about. And it is this car a refurbished Indica? Well, a lot of the past models from Tata have seemed that way. They've taken that Indica idea and then tried to sort of, either comprehensively or not, stretch it. This is a complete departure from that, Rahul. It's an all-new platform, it's an all-new car, and it completely has nothing to do with the Indica, not in name, not in styling terms, not in interior terms, and not even the engines. Next, it's Rohant asking a really great question. Did Tata compromise on cabin space to make Zika compact? And how is the engine response and NVH levels? Well, Rohant, the NVH levels first, let me tell you, both the petrol and the diesel are 3-cylinder engines. So yes, they're a little bit noisier than what you're used to. When you're inside though, it's fairly good, the sound damping. And so when you're outside the car, you do hear it a little bit more. It's also the kind of rattle you get used to. So the diesel obviously being a little bit noisier. And the engine response is definitely improved as compared to what we had expected. Also improved when you compare to the engines you've seen on both the Bolt and the Zest. I think Tata also went after this car being intentionally compact, and which is why, yes, the proportions do look pretty compact, but on the inside I have to say the cabin space is fairly generous. Legroom is also pretty decent for a car of this size. Next, a question from Facebook. Pankaj is asking if the interiors are grey or beige. It's a bold move from Tata to go black on the interiors, because remember, black is, of course, firstly something that absorbs heat, but more so also something that makes something look smaller. So if you had a lighter palette, it tends to look bigger, the cabin. But the black is well finished, the plastic quality is hugely improved, and the two-tone with the black and the grey does work. Now, some of the plastics could be better, but if you compare to the cars in the competing range of vehicles, I think it's done Tata has done a good job with the interiors in terms of material quality, in terms of features, and in terms of space. So yes, the black is subtle, it's classy, and it's pretty sporty. And finally, Sridhar is asking about the length, ground clearance, and the boot space. The ground clearance is a decent 170 millimeters. The boot space, 242 liters. Now, is that the best in its class? No, it's not. In fact, if you compare to something like a Grand i10, the boot space is about 10 liters volume less than that car. But this car, in terms of pricing, I reckon, will be positioned more aggressively than the Grand i10. It certainly will be sitting below the Bolt. So expect really, really smart prices. So if you start to compare then to cars like the Celerio or the i10 or even the Honda Brio, then this car will start to seem roomy, more robust, and a little bit taller too.
This stage was set for a champion. 3-time World MotoGP champion Jorge Lorenzo was due to arrive at the Buddh International Circuit as part of Yamaha's promotion activity. 30 lucky R3 owners were geared up to ride with him on the track, but the sudden downpour did them a bit disappointed. Lorenzo finally arrived amidst thunderous applause and was soon suited to ride Yamaha's flagship bike, the YZF-R3, on the racetrack. The riding session with the owners followed, and the wet track meant it was a challenging and fun ride for everyone, including the world champion.
Lorenzo, welcome to India. Is the feeling of a world champion still sinking in? Are you still enjoying the moment? Is it all there still inside?
Of course. We struggle so much and we make a lot of effort this season to achieve this goal. And when you have it, you have to enjoy it at your best. You know, trying to make some party with the friends, to make some dinner, to enjoy, to make some soccer activities. And I think we are doing a lot of events also, a lot of press days, but you know, this is part of the job, and I'm happy to do it.
If you were to pick the reasons for winning the championship, what would you pick the top 3 moments that you did in 2015 as compared to 2014 that made sure you crossed the line in first place?
Firstly, we take care a lot of my physical condition. We train a lot with my trainer. This is very important to be fit on the bike. Then we won when we could. We won 4 races in a row, for example, from Jerez to Montmeló 4 days in a row. It was very important to recover. But then in the rain we lose a lot of points. But we didn't give up, even with the crash in Misano, when I crashed on the rain. I didn't give up and I tried to win the championship, even knowing that was very difficult or knowing that was not possible to do it, but we still believe it. And finally this conviction and this determination probably bring us the world title.
You did a few laps on the Buddh circuit. Fantastic driving alone as well as with the Indian rider.
Very glad to stay in this unbelievable track and to race with the Indian fans of MotoGP. I just do 3 groups, two laps by group, and I just try to be a little bit relaxed because I didn't want them to crash. So I've been looking around and trying to be calm for them. I just enjoy the moment and just trying to get this sport more known in this country that is huge, and have a lot of passion for motorbikes. Little by little more for this sport. They know more MotoGP, so it's important to stay here and to promote the brand in this country.
A lot of people also believe that the future of MotoGP is in countries like India, where it's huge population, growing interest for MotoGP. Do you believe that India will soon get on the map? And are you looking forward to being part of the MotoGP if it happens in India?
I really wish that MotoGP come here and the Indian people can watch this unbelievable sport, unbelievable show, because MotoGP is every time became more nice to watch, with more riders with possibilities to fight for the world title, like we saw this year, and next year will be even better, no? In this aspect. So I wish that the owners or the organizations of this track can deal with the organizations of MotoGP, and we can all together bring the MotoGP in this huge and prospect country like India.
Sure. One final question. What next for Lorenzo in the short term? I know you're preparing for the next season. In the long term, maybe a championship in the 4-wheeler category. Is that something that you want to dream of someday?
Maybe as a hobby, but not as a professionist, because the drivers who are driving cars with 3 or 4 years ago, when they were 3 years, they have you never reach this experience or this level of driving. So to beat them is almost impossible. So I think I have a lot of things still to do in motorbikes sport, but maybe when I retire and don't have this pressure of demonstrating that still I'm fast and I am good, maybe just for hobby or just for enjoyment, I will do some car racing.
Would you be brave enough to take a motorcycle out on Indian roads?
In indoors?
In Indian roads?
Indian roads?
Yeah.
Difficult, because there are a lot of people on the cars, on the bikes. There's not so much space. You need to have like eight eyes, not only 2, for try to avoid some complications and some problems. So difficult, but just say to the people, stay calm, don't try to be too fast. The motorbikes is done to just circulate and go from one side to another one, and be careful, no? Especially in the city.
We're at the new Ferrari service center at the dealership here in Delhi, and servicing these cars does require extremely specialized attention, and not just high-end cars but also high-end bikes. The process is extremely articulate, and it takes lots of man-hours to service these kind of cars or bikes. Here's a closer look.
With increasing bike culture, more Indians are mounting on high-end motorcycle brands. But many customers are not aware of what goes into the servicing of these big bikes. A visit to Harley-Davidson Services Center can be an eye-opener. Now, once you reach the dealership, you need to complete the regular checking policy. Fill a form and write your remarks on what needs to be checked or serviced in your bike. If it's a general service, and select general service. Your bike will then be tagged and will be taken inside the workshop. Please ensure if you have any special requests or if anything has to be customized, it has to be informed to the service manager before giving your bike for the service. A general service usually includes around 25 checkpoints. Now, usually the general service takes about 2 to 3 hours if there's no replacement required for major spare part or an additional requirement of any accessory by the customer, in which case the duration of servicing can go up to 2 days. There is also express service available at all workshops, which is an 8 checkpoint service and takes about an hour. From what experts recommend, a new cruiser or even a sports bike should be serviced once by 300 kilometers and then in the multiples of 8,000 kilometers. The bike should go through the entire servicing process. In case of any damage or wear and tear to the motorcycle, it should be brought to the workshop immediately to avoid any further damage. A general service of high-end motorcycles could cost anywhere between 10,000 to 15,000 rupees. Any extra accessory addition or spare part change will of course cost extra depending on which bike and the spare part.
That's all we have this week on CNB Bazaar Buzz, but don't forget to share your feedback at autoprime@ndtv.com. We're going to be spending some more time enjoying the new Ferrari California T. We'll see you guys next week with a brand new episode.